Okay, so I like to, from time to time, try to recreate videos that people do in After Effects as well. So this one I've come across here, and he does some really simple typography with it's called an
After you have your title type,
echo effect. Just make that. Let's see, I'll find the animation that shows us. There you go. So there's this cool little animations, just some text. Animate. So I thought, let's recreate this in Ventuz. Should be really quick. It doesn't look too complicated, to be honest. So hoping it'll be really fast. Let's get started. Let's open up Ventuz. Okay, so I'm going to project, just an empty scene to start with. So let's build some of these quick elements. So the first one I'll tackle that's really quick is the ticker border. Here the border with ticks going around, looping around, and then that'll take us 2 seconds to build. So let's just build that element. So go to your toolbox, world axes, then go to text and choose 2D text. Drag it in. We want scroll text, and you can see we get scroll text, which is cool, which is already what we want. Now the scroll text has a lot of properties and options you can play around with, such as the size, so you can choose how much on the screen it is, and we're going to change the font to something like headline. Okay, we're going to turn bounding box on. I'm going to just reset this, pause that, and we can put in some text of our own if we want. We making a After Effects scene in Ventuz, blah blah blah, whatever you want to type in. Okay, go on the font. You can close that text editor if you want, hit play, and it will do that. Right now our size is at 0, so it means it's all messed up. Just reset that and it will scroll across. I expand the size and just change the position, so I'll just go to the left and then scale the size up. There we go. And that will loop. So nice, you got a nice looping border there. So now I'll turn bounding box off. Okay, I'm going to position this to the top of my screen. I could add more text just to fill that gap, but don't need it. I'm going to duplicate this down, control, duplicate this down, and you can move this in. There we go. Now if you want, you can change the speed. So you have speed where it says 5. I'm just going to leave it at 5. If you want it to go right to left or left to right, so now this is going, that one's going left to right and that one's going right to left. So we could do something like this maybe. And let's duplicate this again. I'll turn the bounding box on. This one we're going to rotate. It's going to go down the side. So I'll reset the X and the Y. Rotate this minus 90. There we go. Turn them. Make sure the bounding box is on. Let me just block these for now. For some bizarre reason, the bounding box is not appearing on this one. Anyway, it's nothing major. There you go. So we can say, so that's where it starts from here, and then say I want it to end here so it doesn't clash. So I'll just change that size. Reduce the value. There you go, something like that. Okay, just unblock that, make sure they don't overlap. Maybe adjust it a little bit more. And then bring this a bit more central down. There you go. Okay, and duplicate this again and move this to the far right. and I want this one to go the opposite directions. I want this to go upwards, almost like, oh, there we go. So now it's like going around like a loop. If I start to fill the text up, so now I've got multiple texts, you see, and this can be a headache to manage, say, all those text fields. So what you can do is we take all of these, let's just tidy it up a little bit, and say we just use one input. So all we can do is get a string. So you could go into logic and the string, so a variable string, and you can say, okay, you all read from this one string here. So what I'm going to do before I do that is just copy that text, paste it in here. I'll just double that, okay, and now select all of these, close my text editor. Normally I have my text editor down here, and just link it in there. And you can call this, you know, text import, whatever you want. Okay. So that's our border, nothing fancy, just a border. Now what I can do is create a group, so I'll go to world, group, and group, put these in a group, merge this down to a container, call this border text. Okay. Go inside, expose out the text input. So double click the little box until it turns green, then a pop-up window will come up. You can just call that, rename that something you understand. So I'm just going to call that text input, and there you go. If you want, you can expose other values like the pause, play, reset, if you want to expose these out, or if you want to expose out the speed or wherever, you can do that as well. You have the same option. So for example, if I want just the speed, I can just get an integer. So I'll go logic, variables, integer, and for this speed, link all these, the speed, take the values from that to that. Let's say 8 or 3 or 2, even 2. There you go. So 2, and you see they all change at the same speed, which is cool. Okay, so we got this anyway. So I can expose this as well if you want. You can call that text speed or just speed. There you go, and it's exposed. Now if I go out of the container, I've got the speed, and I can put the text in without having to do much work. One last thing I want to do is just add a color, solid color. It's white right now, and then expose the base color. So I can change the base color, change the speed, and text input. So we have the border made, pretty simple. Next bit, let's put in the echo. So let's get another axis from world axis, and then we want to go to text, and let's use 3D text again, block text this time. Click on the text itself. On the properties of the text, you want to change this to center, and we're going to type in echo. Okay, now you might want to choose a nicer font or a bolder font or whatever you want. Let's see what I've got in the projects. Yeah. Let's go for something. You got anything bold in here? Being quite picky, but no, I'll just go for the Arial Black for now. Okay, I've got Arial Black. Everyone should have that on the system. There we go, echo. Okay, nothing fancy, right? Now if we go here to edit the font. Oh no, not that one, sorry. This one, 2D text here, where it says plain. You can go edit. And then you have some presets here that you can edit if you want. So you have outline 3D, fine, outline, multi-outline. See, if you click on them, you got different presets that you could edit if you wanted. So you got this one, which is really close to what we want. See, nice echo, and it's already done that, and you can animate the scale, the Z. We probably could go with that. So let's go with that. So we're using outline 3D, and if you want to edit that, so say you don't like the green, In this case, we don't need green, we just need it to be white. And we don't need the yellow, so this will be white as well. Okay, there we go. Now to make it do the bouncing effect, what you could do is you can animate. Oh, so right now you have 3, so you could animate all 3, but I want to add a few more, so we could use this spreader. Actually, instead of using this echo here, so I'm duplicating the echo with this font using the outline, I'm gonna just go to, where is it? Just outlined. Where is it? Where's outline? Outline only. Just use outline only. We'll use the spreader to create the echo effect. So we'll just put a spreader in front. Hit no. Change the Z value. See, now we've got this, and then we can choose how many we want, and we can animate this, doing all this crazy echo effects. You know, you can have a mover just pulsing if you want. You can do all this kind of rotations, and you know, it's all real time, so you don't have to render it like in After Effects. So I'm just going to take a solid color, place it in front, make sure it's solid, no light. There you go. So we've got the same effect, pretty much. Really quick, simple tutorial. I mean, it's nothing complicated, but there you go. Echo. So what I'm going to do, say maybe we're going from 3.4 to minus, so let's just go 3 to -3 with a mover. So animation, get a mover node, drag it into your content window. Want to take the Z value for, say, the position, and go -3 to 3, and then you can put in whatever that speed you want. So let's say 5 seconds. There you go. Maybe a bit slower, 6. Play around with that. Sine looks alright. Source cosine, see how cosine looks. Yeah, cosine works as well. And you can change these values, you know, whatever you want. So there you go, you got a nice echo effect, text. If you want, you can change the alpha of the the echo itself, so you can reduce the factor, and you see it starts to fade out. Yeah, so it's not as intense. You can also reduce the count, for example. You have less, or you can have more. You can have a ton of them, you know. Don't feel free to experiment, you know. You can go off and you can animate maybe the rotation and sorts. There you go. You get different looks. But yeah. So next, let's do that background. So there's this kind of wavy topology in the background. Really simple. We'll keep it really simple. An axis, stick it right at the top of your scene. We want geometry. We're going to use a rectangle, and we're going to scale this up. Alright, so it fills the screen. Completely fills the screen. Okay. We're going to apply a material to this, so solid color. For now, I'm going to just change the color to a red, or whatever you want, a blue, something a bit easier to. Okay, I'll go for blue. We're going to change this after. Okay. And what we want to do is create these lines. So before we do that, we want to go to our tessellation. I'm going to just knock the tessellation up to like 150 and 150. From no light, I'm going to go to form, change the specular. You can tweak this after. I'm just going to put the specular to grey for now. Go to materials, texture, and I'm going to choose, let's go Perlin Vertex Noise. Let's try that. Okay, now go scroll down a little bit. You've got the amount, so now reduce the amount. There we go. Or scale the UV as well. There we go. And bring that amount down as well. And you can already see we've got this bumpy terrain. Now by changing the scale UV, you see more or less of it. You see what I'm doing? And then if I kind of move this around, you can get different looks. You can change the bias. You can change the fall off as well, how much fall off there is. You can experiment with these values. So I might go for bigger than bigger amount, something like that. Just a bit more distorted. Then I'll just expand the X and the Y on the rectangle just a little bit, so it just fills the screen up. Okay, so now what we can do is go to a texture, so add a texture base with alpha. And what we're going to do is we want to create, we can either bring in a strip, you know, like from Photoshop, or let's see if we can create it with a gradient. We'll see. Or we might be able to create it with something like this. Let's just try it. But I'll try the gradient first. So we might be able to get away with something like this. Turn this to black. Go to UV mapping, UV 0, change the X scale, see if anything happens. Might be on the, so on this one is the Y scale, and this gradient's not working, so let's go for a different one. And we might have to tighten the gradient up. Okay. Oh, actually, before you change that base color to white. My fault. You shouldn't change. Don't change the base color to black, because then it will change the gradient back. So you're just fighting what I've just done here. That was my mistake. Now just change this. Play around with the scales. If we can get it to loop. Oh, and make sure we have to turn wrap on. My fault. Simple wrap. Wrap, and now we start to scale it. There we go. So now you get this lines in the background. Now if I edit this gradient, let's move this across, we get bigger space. Can make it even smaller, and that space will increase, and we can change this height in the Y. Cool, so you can have less or more depending on what you want. Okay, I might rotate the Z, there we go, the Z axis, a rotation on the 2D mapping there. And now what we can do is we can animate this, so you can have it drifting like this, you know, if we want. So let's put a mover, we can just click linear 1, and you'll see it animate. Click on that mover, slow the speed down by a lot, I don't know, 120, even slower, maybe 30. There you go. Now you might want to adjust the scene a bit, so you might want to push it back and then scale it up. There you go. And you can see we've already got this cool effect. Now if you want to knock that opacity down, you can knock that down. I'd say change this to no light, so it's just solid, but you have the wavy lines, and then just knock down the opacity. There you go. So it's not as distracting. There we go. We recreated an After Effects scene with a rectangle, some text, and a spreader. And it's all real time. So now, if you want, you can go and edit that, change the colors. No need to render, and it's all 3D. So yeah, hopefully that was a useful tutorial. It might be just some beginners, I don't know. If you want as well, if you want to say I want to link all my colors, for example, if I shift select all these, so this material here, my border text, and this color material here, because they all have color values, so the base color, this material, and this material. Say okay, I want color. I put color in here in my content window, and link them all. So link these two, base color to here, and I could link this to the base color as well if I wanted. And I'll just change the one value. There you go. Cool. Now, some bizarre reason this is not updating, so let me drag that in front there. This could be just the text effects itself, so let me just double check, edit. Yeah, it's bizarre, the texture is not, this is not being affected by the texture, but hey, no problem. I'll just change it to, oh, would that affect it? No. Nope, that material doesn't affect this for some bizarre reason. But, yeah, kind of works. Hopefully that's some use. I'm not too sure why this didn't apply, why this overwrites the material. If this was white, I would have expected that to overwrite. So the green to overwrite the white on this. But maybe something, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully that's some use again, like I said. Short video. Thank you again. Good night. I'll put a link as well to this video. You can see. Maybe you can also add those pluses in between if you want it in the ticker, but that's a different thing. But yeah, if you want to find out more about ticker text or whatever, how to add those plus symbols, I recommend is hit F1 on the text here, and you can go interactive examples, or if you go here to text and then go 2D text, F1, same thing, and it will tell you can get description, examples, so there will be examples of tickers, how to do that. But yeah, thank you again, good night.